Yes, I tried to beat down a Games Workshop store manager. And I know I was wrong, but hopefully by the end of this video, you won't blame me for it. It was 2007 and I had just pre-ordered the first thing I ever pre-ordered in my entire life. Samael, the Master of the Raven Wing for the Dark Angel Space Marines. I paid online, via the Games Workshop website, and I printed out my receipt. A few weeks later, I got the email. Your purchase has arrived at the local Games Workshop store. You can come by and pick it up anytime, etc. I was stoked. So my local store was at the Sony Metreon Mall in downtown San Francisco, which was really cool in 2007, but not so much now. I lived in deep East Oakland, and despite the long ride on public transit, I took the BART to San Francisco and went to the mall. I was so happy about the new model. It was just awesome. And I had just been obsessively collecting Dark Angels at the time. I sure do miss that old hunk of metal. It was like 9 pounds, but I digress. So I get to the store, and the usual employees that I actually liked aren't there. Just one guy who I was hoping not to see. And I was shocked to see this guy not in the usual red Games Workshop staff shirt, but in the black shirt of a manager. Oh yeah, back then they weren't called Warhammer stores. They were called Games Workshop stores. It was the Stone Age after all. I see the guy and he looks like an Amish cult leader. Like straight out of Poltergeist 3 or something. Literally the dude sticks out like a sore thumb in San Francisco. Just way too stiff and robotic and awkward. So the store has about 8 gaming tables set up and they're all covered in terrain and minis and are for people to play on and get acquainted with the games GW sells. And right on the table, next to where the manager is standing is a freshly unboxed crate of Samael miniatures. There's a kid in the store who's probably about 12 who's trying to engage with the manager in a game of fantasy battles, but the manager is too busy trying to talk to the mom, who's wandering aimlessly about the store, taking in the ideas that came to her mind, I'm sure, for future birthday inspiration for her kid, but she didn't really want to have anything to do with the guy. But he was totally oblivious and didn't notice that at all. So I got right up to the table and I say, "Hey, I pre-ordered the Samael model online. I got the email to come pick it up in the store this afternoon." By this time it was night, so it had been all day basically since I got the email. I picked up one of the boxes of the models I had purchased, and he asked me to put it down. I pulled out my printout of my receipt and asked him to check his system to see that I paid. He told me that I couldn't have one as they hadn't been scanned into inventory yet. I asked why that was the case, calmly, but he was a complete dick. He said that a manager had to scan them in. I pointed out that he was in a black shirt and that he was himself, in fact, a manager. This upset him, as I was correct. He said that he didn't have time, and he was busy playing a game, and pointed to the kid who he'd been completely ignoring, who was packing up his models in total annoyance, and his mom was telling him to hurry up, impatiently waiting so they could go to the Metreon IMAX theater for a movie. With the kid gone, and the mom too, I was alone with this asshat in the store, and I was all out of patience. At this time, I was not a 49-year-old fat guy, but a 31-year-old who had skateboarded 8 to 12 hours a day for years, just obsessively. And I was in the shape of a professional athlete. I stared this guy deep in his eyes and I said, "Hey buddy, I rode on the bus all through East Oakland, then took the BART across the bay. All because I got the email from your store, from your staff, right here at the Metreon, telling me to come pick up my model. I didn't ride all that way in vain, did I?" He completely ignores me and proceeds to show me his giant he converted for his orcs and goblins army. It was a horrific, terrible monstrosity that had about a fist-sized ball of green stuff just pounded onto its head, and he tried and failed to sculpt it into an orc's head. Otherwise, it was painted green. This was when the current Ale Guzzler Gargant was the new giant, and he had converted this one out of the old giant. It was ugly as sin, and he painted it green. So it looked like a big green orc. But it was so awkward. The head was as big or bigger than the torso, and it was painted so poorly that it looked like a drunk 6-year-old painted it with a popsicle stick for a brush. The guy just wouldn't shut up, and kept going on and on about his giant. Meanwhile, if he would have had any skill at social interactions at all, or the ability to read a room, I am livid. face flushed red. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears. My blood pressure was up. My fists are balled up, and I'm about to go ballistic, ready to kill someone. Which, looking back on it, isn't a surprise. I was diagnosed with PTSD a couple of months later. That's when I picked up one of the models off the table and threw my receipt down. Again, for him to see. Then I proceeded to leave the store. Except he got in between me and the exit, blocking my egress, and said I had to come back the next day. I told him that he could have scanned in every single one of those Samuels in the time it took him to tell me about his ugly abomination of a giant. He reached for the box in my hand, and I did not give it to him. Instead, I flew at him and got right in his face and told him anything less than me leaving there unhindered would result in me beating his ass. At that point, I did not care. I was ready to go to jail. After all, this had become a moral issue to me, and more than that even, an issue of honor. He didn't even stand his ground, and before I had even raised my still clenched fist, he ran from me and went to the back of the store. There was a little closet in the back where they'd put inventory, and he darted in there and slammed the door. I grabbed the knob and tried to open it, but he was pulling it closed from the other side, and he started yelling. I just decided to leave. I got my model, and I wasn't in jail yet. If he was such a bitch that he couldn't take a well-deserved ass beating, well, that was on him. So I turned around to go, and there was a mall security guard standing right there, outside the store. He wanted to know what was going on. I just told him that I came to pick up a model I pre-ordered and was on my way home, and that is when the manager guy came out of the closet and started yelling at the security guy to arrest me. I was like, "You're not a cop, you can't arrest me." And I walked around the guy, but the manager told the security guard, yelled at him is more like it, frantically, that I was stealing the model in my hand as I hadn't paid. I pulled out my receipt, but by then, the security guard was pulling out his gun. I was made to relinquish the model that I had paid for to the Amish ass clown. The security guard did not care that I had a receipt and did not even care to look at it. He said, "All I know is he said you're stealing and he's the manager." But I honestly wonder if the guy suffered from poor literacy or something and had a choice to make. Either way, believe the crazy looking punk dude or the store manager. I guess if you're a security guard, it's a no-brainer. So I had a gun pointed at me, and I gave the model back. The security guard lowered his gun, and I asked him if he was really willing to shoot a man over a $35 model that they had actually paid for. And he said that he was indeed. Which I found to be completely trashy, honestly. Don't be that person, no matter what, seriously. I went home, empty-handed. Rode another hour on the subway and the bus through the ghetto, back to my apartment in deep East Oakland. Barely survived the journey home, as usual. The next day, I called the Games Workshop store about an hour after they opened, and I asked the woman I talked to if the Samael models were scanned in yet. She said that not only yes they were, but she had done it first thing in the morning the day before. So right before she sent me the email to come pick my model up. I went there to get my model, and she commiserated with me and told me what it was like to have that guy as the manager. She made a complaint to her higher-ups, and I sent Games Workshop an email that, between us, literally must have got that guy fired, but also got me banned by them for a solid 10 to 12 years. Like, I couldn't even shop on the web store. They were pissed, and I did not hold back in my email. I used some very colorful language, and you can bet that my email was indeed strongly worded. But the funny thing is, one day, out of the blue, well over a decade later, I got an email from them that said I was right. And my criticism was valid, even if I was a bit hostile in my delivery, but they then said they could understand that too, given the severity of the situation. And I would hope so. I had a gun pulled on me for spending money with Games Workshop. But then again, I really probably would have just beat the crap out of that guy if security never came. I was trying to get through the closet door like Jack Torrance. Anyway, that was literally the first thing I ever pre-ordered online and was not a good experience. I don't have the Samael model anymore. I sold it, along with about 4,000 points of Dark Angels on eBay around 2011 or so. Really wish I hadn't, as it is a gorgeous model and I'm doing Dark Angels again. But there you go, folks. A real life, true story of intrigue, inflamed passions, and violence. Just glad nobody got beat up and really glad I didn't get shot. Has Games Workshop ever pushed you to your limit? Have they ever made you snap? I doubt that I'm the only one. Or was I in the wrong there?